Hi there, Malcolm here with my 57th Booktube video, and today I'll be bringing you March's TBR. I have quite a sizable and optimistic pile in front of me, so I'll just get cracking. My book of the month this month is Shadow Captain by Alistair Reynolds. This is book 2 of the Revenger series, or duology as it is now. Whether there's going to be any more I don't know, but this is book 2. A couple of years ago I read my first ever Alistair Reynolds book, Revenger, and was really surprised by what I read. I really enjoyed it. And so I was very excited when I heard that he was writing book 2, and even more excited now that I've got it in my hands. Okay, this is a library copy, but then none of the bookshops wanted to sell it. I can't tell you anything about this without giving away the plot of book 1, or even the resolution of book 1, but what I can tell you is this is set during what's called the 13th occupation, or rather the 13th time human civilization has bloomed in the galaxy. So there's lots of old tech, old planets that are being rediscovered, and a lot of fun to be had here. And it's described as being Pirates of the Caribbean meets Firefly. I'd say the Firefly bit may be a bit misleading. Certainly it starts off like that, but then does something very different. I've just managed the first chapter today, and spent most of it trying to remember what happened in the first book, having read it 2 years ago. I think I'm just about there. But I'm anticipating getting through this one much quicker than I got through Beyond the Aquila Rift. It's about half the size for a start. Anyway, once I've read that, I'll then move on to Star Wars Planet of Twilight by Barbara Hamley. Haven't started it yet. I ran out of month. I've heard lots of not very good stuff about it. Not totally looking forward to it, but I enjoyed the last one more than I set up for, so who knows? I'll give it a go and see. And once I do get through it, I'll then move on to finish a book I've had on the go for a long time now, Doctor Who Dead of Winter by James Goss. The Doctor, Amy and Rory wake up in a health retreat in the 1800s or something like that, and they've all lost their memories. And the story is recounted in letters, first-person points of view from various characters, in amongst a whole bunch of weird stuff going on, because it's Doctor Who. Really enjoyed it so far. I've actually put it on my main reading pile so that it actually gets read. And when it is read, I'll then move on to finish reading the case book of Sherlock Holmes by Arthur Conan Doyle, 12 more adventures of the intrepid fan of deductive reasoning. I've already read 2 of them, so I should manage the other 10 before the end of the month. While I'm reading all that, in spare moments, like when I'm boiling the kettle and stuff, I'm reading The Walking Dead, Rise of the Governor by Robert Kirkman and Jay Bonansinga. I'm on page 58 at the moment, and enjoying this tale of the Governor when he was still known as Philip, as he's experiencing the fall of civilization with his brother, his friends, and his still breathing daughter. It's titled Rise of the Governor, but this man has to fall a long way to become the man that we've seen him on the telly, or that features in the graphic novels. I bought the 4-book set from the works for about £5. Didn't have high hopes for it, but really enjoying it so far. My 3 graphic novels I'm trying to read this month will be Volumes 1 and 2 of Star Wars Vector. This was a 4 comic book crossover tie-in run-through series where a talisman that unleashed a deadly Rakghoul plague traverses the Star Wars saga from the Knights of the Old Republic all the way through to the legacy of the Jedi. The eagle-eyed amongst you will notice that Volume 1 here is made up of the comics. Thankfully I have them all to count Volume 1, and Volume 2 is Volume 2, because it says Volume 2 on it, and it's the collected. Fortunately, at the time when the Vector series came out, I was collecting 3 of the 4 series at the time anyway. The Knights of the Old Republic, Dark Times, and Legacy. I wasn't collecting Rebellion, hence the graphic novel. I really enjoyed them at the time. Looking forward to reading them all in one quick succession. And once I've read that, I'll be going through my Dark Times comic collection. I have here numbers 1 through 10, but missing number 5, irritatingly. Our comic book shop wasn't great at giving us every issue. So I can't count The Path to Nowhere, because I've only got 4/5 of it. I have read up what happens in issue 5, which of all the issues to miss was the worst one to miss. I have all the next 5 issues, Parallels, which did end up as a collected volume. I can count that as a book. So those are books I'm reading to myself. This is what I'm reading to everyone else. To my younger son, I'm reading book 1 of The Edge Chronicles, Beyond the Deep Woods, by Paul Stewart and Chris Riddle. I've previously read in the Muddle Earth and Muddle Earth 2 books, by the same author and illustrator combination, and we just happen to have this sitting on the bookshelf, so thought we'd give this a go. We're 3 chapters in, and loving it. A young troll who doesn't look like a troll finds out he's adopted, and goes off to find his fortune and his true identity, while meeting a whole bunch of weird and crazy creatures along the way. To my older son, I'm reading Whale Adventure by Willard Price. This is book 5 of the adventure series featuring Hal and Roger, in an animal collecting series where they're actually collecting less and less animals as the books go on. In this one, they are on an old-style whaling ship, and already things are looking bad, as the captain looks to be a grade A dingus. Full of details and facts about how whaling used to be, and how it was replaced by the whaling factory ships, which in turn resulted in the lack of any whales in our seas. Quite a lot I do remember from this, but some things I've completely forgotten, so enjoying going through it again. And to my wife, I am still reading book 1 of the Dark Water Legacy, The Ember Blade by Chris Wooding. This is an epic fantasy for the modern age, so if you can't cope with Lord of the Rings, I would highly recommend you try this one instead. At page 631, we've got less than 200 pages to go, so there's a really good chance we'll finish this in March. This is a story of the Ossian people who are being subjugated by the Crodans, and there's a plot of rebellion, which is still in its infancy and certainly full of desperation. But ignoring all that, it is chock full of really good characters. Each and every one of them is a joy to read about. There we go, 11 books there. I'm hoping to finish at least 8 of them. Come back this time next month to see how I did. Have you read any of those? I'd love to hear what you thought about them, but please no spoilers. But also, if you have nothing nice to say, then please do keep it to yourself. Thank you. If you have a TBR pile you'd like to share, or a wrap-up, or any other book-related information, then please do leave a link or a list in the comment section down below, and I'll go and check it out. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, see you later. Haven't started it yet. I ran out of February. February. I ran out of February. February sounds like a sort of sofa detergent. February. I ran out of February. Bloody hell.
February.
February.
Would you like to say it for me?
February.
Ready? February.
February.
No, February.
February. Asshole.
Last month.
I can't remember what I'm trying. I ran out of month. Shut up.
That would be an outtake.
February. I think I glossed over it last time.